Welcome back to Authentically Her. My name is Natalie, and we are going to get into my Beast method. Oh yes, we are. We're getting into that Beast method, and today we are talking about education. And what does Beast stand for? Let me tell you. It stands for boundaries, education, action, stand your ground, and talk, girl, talk. Yes, but today is education. So one of the things about setting boundaries, and we've been talking about boundaries, right? So when you start to set boundaries, you need to start to educate yourself. You need knowledge that you don't already have. And a lot of my knowledge I got from Tony Robbins, Neville Goddard, a lot of coaches that I listened to online. Ironically, right here on YouTube, because it was free. I got free coaching. And the reason why you need proximity, and the knowledge relates to the proximity that you need, because you need proximity to the people who are already doing the thing that you want to do. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to get boundaries. See, we think we all want to get rich, but you can't get rich without boundaries. You'll get taken. You'll get taken. You might get money, but you'll get taken. And so boundaries are really important to people who have money, to people who have elevated status, because they need to know that they're around people they can trust. And then even then, sometimes they get betrayed, but guess what they have? They have knowledge. And they know what to do then. And we'll talk about that in another video. But today, I want you to hit that like button. Of course, I didn't say that already. Subscribe already. What are you waiting for? Join me, subscribe so you can be notified the next time I upload a new video. And hit that like button and drop me a heart emoji in the comments to show your love and support, because I'm here showing my love and support for you. But let's get into this. The reason why I brought up money was because when I first went into my first Tony Robbins seminar that I did, and I listened to other influencers also, other coaches, like I think I mentioned Lisa Nichols and Iyanla Vanzant, and I mean there are quite a few others that I listen to. It just is going to depend. As you're going on your journey, you're gonna have different things that you're gonna find that you want to work on. So you're gonna have to find those coaches and those people who are knowledgeable about what it is that you're trying to learn. So I would start with mental health. I love Tony Robbins because he offered a lot of words of encouragement. And when you're going into this journey and it's feeling lonely, remember we talked about how lonely it is when you start voicing your opinion, you're going to need other people who have been there to tell you that it's okay. And you might need to hear it over and over again, which is why I love that we have YouTube. And I'm going to share a couple things with you that I learned on this journey that were a little bit unexpected, right? So I went into Tony Robbins because I thought, yes, I want to get excited. I want to own a business. I want to do all these things. And it was then that I learned that I had so many other things that I needed to fix. And this is not fix, but work on. I don't think we need fixing. I think we need to work on ourselves. And sometimes we have blind spots about what we need to work on. And as I mentioned, you can make money without boundaries, but you might get taken. So what you need is those boundaries. And what you start to realize is that maybe I don't have boundaries. And then you start to notice who you don't have boundaries with when you start to go to these seminars and listen to these coaches. And one of the weirdest things that I learned, I'm going to share this with you because you will pick up little things that go a long way, is that he mentioned something. Tony Robbins talks about something called no extra time and buying back your time. And I was like, what is net time? It's net. He calls it net. And I was like, what does that mean? No extra time. We're always saying we don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time. I don't have time to take a class. I don't have time to listen to that podcast. I don't have time to read that book. I don't have time to whatever it is, right? Because we're all so busy. We have busy lives. We are moms. We go to work, we cook, we clean, we take care of husbands, we have other hobbies. Maybe you're trying to take care of your health, or maybe you're starting to try to take care of your health, and now you're finding, I don't have time to work out. When am I going to do this? I was actually walking at the time that I was listening to the podcast, and then I realized I was doing just that. No extra time. I was knocking out two birds with one stone. I was getting my walk in, and I was listening to Tony Robbins. And what's interesting is that you buy back time that way. Like, I don't have to go for a walk and then come back and listen to Tony Robbins. And you can do that in other places in your life. Like, you're driving home in the car. Instead, I'm not saying either that listening to music is not a good idea, because sometimes that's what you need to do. And if that's what you need to do, that's great. But if you're looking and you're thinking, oh, I gotta run home and listen to, I want to listen to this podcast, and I want to listen to this YouTube video that this coach put out, and when I get home, things are going to get crazy. What do you do on the ride home? Some of us have up to an hour, if not more, on a ride home, depending on traffic. You can turn on the podcast, right? You can listen to it. You can't watch the video, but you can listen to it like a podcast. And I just found this to be helpful, because you can do this in different places in your life. Like while I'm cooking dinner or cleaning the kitchen or cleaning the house, right? I downloaded Audible. And when I wanted to read a book and I was like, I don't have time, I got Audible, and I can listen to that book while I was cleaning the house or doing laundry, cooking dinner. Net time, no extra time. And then buying back your time. And I was like, what do you mean? How you buy back time? I spent 8 hours at work. I'm cleaning the house in the afternoon. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. We try to do everything by ourselves. He said one of the first things he did was hire someone to clean his house, like once a month. And I thought, well, I can clean my house. Why do we think we need to have someone to clean our house? And this is the start of getting away from poverty mindset. Imagine that not getting someone to clean your house is poverty mindset. Meanwhile, you're thinking, I don't want to spend the extra money. Why am I going to spend the extra money to pay someone to clean my house? Well, imagine this. Let's say you make $30 an hour, right? And so that cleaning lady's charging you $15 an hour. And they're going to come in and maybe they're going to clean your house in 4 hours. So that's $60, right? If you cleaned your house, it would take you 8 hours at $30 an hour. You do the math. I'm not going to. But I know it's more money. It's a lot more. It costs you a lot more to clean that house yourself. And I was like, wow, so this is how the rich people think. And he's like, and by the way, once you get someone to clean your toilet, you're not going to want to do it again. And guess what? I've never looked back. I kid you not, I have never looked back. And I thought, oh, I'll try it, right? No, I never look back since, because it was a blessing to them, to the people. This is how we stimulate the economy. This is how we give back. We think that we have to give back to people by just giving away our money. No, that doesn't teach anyone anything. It doesn't help us at all, right? But if you can pay someone, right, to come in and really help you get something done that buys you back 8 hours, because I was spending my weekends cleaning. And so that buys me back the 8 hours of my time. So not only I got my 8 hours back, and I got my money back. aha, right? I got my money back because I got the $30 an hour back. It was gonna cost me because I make $30 an hour, if I make $30 an hour, and I paid $15 an hour for 4 hours to have somebody come clean for me, because they were like more, they have a method, they come in, they clean, they're in, they're out. Never look back. And so I say this to say, not to tell you that I'm having my toilet scrubbed, because you probably don't care that I'm having my toilet scrubbed, or if I'm scrubbing it, or somebody else is scrubbing it, by the way. But if you can understand that concept and the kind of information that you get when you get proximity to people, you're gonna get so much information that you didn't expect. Literally, I started listening to Tony Robbins thinking, oh, I might want to open up a business. Let me go to him for some tips. I wasn't thinking about, I need to set boundaries, I need to do all these things, but eventually you start to realize that you can't get to where you want to go without going through a certain pathway. You have to take a certain pathway. And sometimes that pathway is lonely. As we spoke about in my last video on using your voice. But yes, knowledge. And then another thing, something that you would never think that you would pick up. He mentioned about that, and then I told you about the net time, and I told you about like getting somebody and buying back your time. I think those were really the biggest things that I learned, because I never thought about hiring someone else to do something as stimulating the economy, and then wow, buying back my time. And it's been amazing, because otherwise I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't be able to continue to get the knowledge that I need to make these videos or have the time to do them, right? Because while I'm hiring someone to clean my house, I can make videos and or get the information that I need to make these videos. And the other part about this is not just that you're stimulating. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is that you just keep every time you attend an event or you listen to a podcast or something like that online, find a coach that you like and listen to that coach, you will find that there's a little tidbit of information that you get that assists you on your journey, something that you weren't expecting. So the other thing I learned was that he was adamant. He said, well, rich people, as he's wearing his own brand, he's wearing his hat, his branded shirt, right? A pair of jeans and a pair of sneakers. So he looks like the guy walking down the street. If you didn't know who Tony Robbins was, it's not like you would look at him and look at the way he's dressed and go, oh, that man's rich, right? So he's wearing his own brand, casual look, as he's talking during this seminar. And he says, the other thing that rich people do is just that. They wear their own brand if they're going to wear a brand. And they buy stock in brand name companies. They don't buy the brand name goods. And I was like, And he said, no, they do not. They buy stock in brand name companies, and they don't buy the brand name goods, because once you buy the goods, they depreciate. And it's a falsehood that it makes you look rich, because when rich people see you wearing that, they just know that their bank account is getting fatter. And I was like, what? And he said, yes, because when they buy the stock, they get dividends. So when they buy the stock in those companies, like Coach, one of my favorite brands, I was just like, oh wow, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense that they find a brand that they like, they investigate the brand, and if the brand is really good and they're rocking and they're doing well, they invest. investments. That got me looking into investments because that's what rich people do. And they don't walk around wearing Coach and Gucci and Jones of New York or whatever other brand it is. I don't even know, Fendi, whatever other brand it is that it is out there that we all love so much, that we spend so much money on, that's making the rich people rich. And he said, if you want this lifestyle, if you want to be rich, then you got to think like the rich do. And it doesn't mean that rich people don't eventually buy those brands, right? But they buy those brands long after they've invested in them. And I'm sure they are buying the brands that they invest in. Because when that makes sense, you're invested in it, you're collecting dividends and interest on those brands. So why wouldn't you buy a brand that you own? And so that, all this to say, and I know it might sound like I'm rambling, but the importance of knowledge at this point is going to help enlighten you. It's going to help broaden the way you think about life, the way you think about being rich, the way you think about people. And so now when I see somebody that's all dressed up and all decked out and all this stuff, I'm like, wow, I should go look up that company because obviously it's popular. So maybe they're doing well. This might be a good company to invest in. So your mindset shifts. I don't go, oh, somebody bought Gucci, I think I'll run out and buy Gucci. No, but if it's trending, if Gucci's trending, oh, I'm going to take a look at it. And there's a lot of other things you need to know about investments. That's just to say what you learn when you have proximity to people that have knowledge that you don't have, and to people that can help coach you, to help elevate you and bring you to another level in your life. And you're gonna ask me, Natalie, what does this have to do with authenticity? What does it have to do with being authentic? Because is it authentic to buy a product, to wear it, to pretend like you're rich? Or is it better to actually figure out how to use that product to make you rich? That's what it has to do with authenticity. Because as you elevate, and you may not be able to do it at the beginning because you may have a lot of things that you're working on. And you may be able to tackle one little thing at a time. But you're going to make note, right? You're going to take notes. Look at me. I have notes right here. You're going to take note and say, okay, the next thing I'm going to tackle is I'm going to look for information on this. I'm going to work on my mental health. So I'm going to find a coach that talks about mental health, specifically whatever your mental health problem is, anxiety, depression, PTSD, whatever it is for you. Child PTSD, CPTSD, whatever. The childhood fairy, I think her name is. She's pretty awesome. So if you're struggling with CPTSD, check her out. She is on YouTube. But you'll take notes on all little things like this. Childhood fairy, Tony Robbins, Lisa Nichols, right? You can't watch them all at the same time. But as you're going along on your journey, you're gonna pick up little tidbits. And then when you're ready to maybe do a big jump, maybe you'll attend a seminar. And those seminars have a lot of information. So you're gonna have to sort out like what's for you in the moment and what's not. Because so many times we try to jump the gate, right? We wanna jump the gate, we wanna jump steps. We don't wanna set the boundaries. We don't wanna use our voice. We don't wanna get the knowledge, but we wanna be rich. I mean, you can try, let me know how it works, but most people that I've talked to, the Warren Buffetts, if you look at huge influencers, coaches, right? The billionaires, the ones that have the money, like I said, the Warren Buffetts. they have a system, they have a mechanism by which they work with. They've done all this work of being authentic. They already know who they are. They're unshakable in who they are. And they have a method by which they do things. And so that's all I'm saying. So as you're on this journey, that's part of what you're doing. You're finding a method. And so my method is the BEAST method, right? It's boundaries, education, action, stand your ground, and talk. And I live by that method. I live by that method. And it's not like you're perfect at it, but a little bit at a time. It gets better. You learn something new. You add a little tidbit to it. So, all this to say, find someone that is doing something that you want to do. Whether it's that you're trying to heal something, maybe find someone who's knowledgeable in something that you want to heal. Follow them. Get their knowledge. Because you're going to need it on this journey. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know who you'll follow, because I'd love to know. Maybe you have someone that you'll follow that I would love to follow also. I'm always looking for someone new. I'm always looking for new knowledge. I'm always looking to expand my mind and tap into something that I didn't know before. There's no shame in that game. All right? Drop me a heart emoji, drop me a comment, let me know who, if you have someone already, that you are going to follow, what knowledge you're going to acquire. Let's keep weaving this dream together, because around here, we don't shrink anymore. We speak our mind, we set boundaries, and now, what else do? We get the knowledge that we need to keep moving forward. Love you. I will see you in the next one.